you know, hey, what the heck. Hey, this is Roy Richardson, the tech troublemaker, and tonight we're going to talk about Windows 11. Windows 11 came out, well, technically today was launch day, but Microsoft kind of snuck it out last night and said, hey, by the way, if you want Windows 11, here it is. By the way, here's my t-shirt, bonus points if you get the, what's combined up here. Bonus points if you figure that out, and tell me in the chat. Hey, tell me in the chat. Hey, did you figure it out? Let me know. Anyway, so tonight I want to talk about Windows 11, and the big question you need to know is, can my computer run Windows 11? Is my computer ready for Windows 11? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the requirements, and if it is, what you do to upgrade to Windows 11 right now, if that's what you want to do. So let's get started. So here we go. I know, little death by PowerPoint, right? All right, so Windows 11, can I run it? Well, maybe. So if we go take a look, let me get myself situated here. There we go. All right, so you can run Windows 11 if you're running, it should say Windows 10 version 20.004. I'll have to change that in post. You have at least a 1 gigahertz processor that, thanks Big Red, yeah, you got it right, by the way. This is, it's Blue's Clues and Snoopy and Charlie Brown crossed together, by the way. I'm just going to tell you that. But anyway, 1 gigahertz processor with at least 2 cores, 64 gig of local storage, whether that be a hard drive or solid state, or you happen to have M2 chips. Uefi, secure boot compatible. We'll talk about that later, what the heck that is. TPM, the Trusted Platform Module 2.0. We'll talk about later about what that is. You have to have a graphics card that's compatible with Windows, with DirectX 12. You have to have a display that's 720p or larger, and you have to have an internet connection and an internet account. Now, so far, I've gotten away with running Windows 11 without logging into my Hotmail account with Microsoft, but I think more and more they're going to kind of push that, and you'll have to like figure out, oh, do I have to? Why do I have to log in? But there's a lot of benefits. It'll save like bookmarks and settings and that type of thing. So actually, in a lot of ways, it's a good thing. It's not the worst thing that ever happened. Okay. Next up is TPM 2.0. What is that? So TPM 2.0 is basically, so it's the Trusted Platform Module. Is a chip on your motherboard, and if your computer's new enough to have it, and you may have it, but you need to update the firmware on it. So like for example, I had a computer that was running 1.2 version of TPM, and I updated the BIOS, or the firmware actually. It's not called BIOS anymore. We'll talk about why that is here in a minute. You have to update the BIOS, and as part of that BIOS, it should update your TPM chip to 2.0. Now, the bad side of TPM is that it's an attempt to secure your computer, but it also lets vendors know that you're running a legit version of your software. So if you're borrowing software from a friend and they have it registered, the TPM chip might give away the fact that you're running software that you're not officially licensed for. So that is something that you need to be concerned about. So yeah. Next, secure boot. So basically, it prevents you from using an operating system other than what originally, wow, my typing is horrible tonight, I'm sorry. Running an operating system other than what your computer originally came with. If your computer came with Windows 10, your OEM, being like you bought it from Dell or Acer or, you know, any of those, heaven forbid Gateway. If you bought one of those, then you're okay. You probably don't have to worry about anything. But if you bought a computer that came with no OS, in other words, no operating system, say you loaded it up with Linux, you may have issues because you may not have an option to do secure boot, or you may have to do a workaround. Now, the internet luckily will find ways to get around this eventually, and there's already been some work on getting rid of the TPM chip, but that's not something I'm going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about you're running legit Windows 10 right now on your current computer. Can your current computer run Windows 11? Let's talk. Okay, so a couple of caveats here. Previous. Okay, here we go. Let's move my bouncing ball around here. All right, so Going back one. Don't show you when that happens. But hey, this is live, and this is just proof that it's live. So Uefi is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. It's basically a replacement of the BIOS. And the BIOS was the piece that allowed the hardware in your computer to talk to the operating system that was on when you booted off your hard drive. And so BIOS was great and was useful, but Unified Extensible Firmware Interface has so many more features than the BIOS had. So it's really a big improvement. It does offer more options. Like, for example, you can do much bigger storage than you ever could in BIOS. And they're not really keeping BIOS up to date these days. So Uefi is the way to go. And basically, it's a replacement of the firmware that was originally called BIOS. Now it's called Uefi. It's a good thing. And servers have been running this for quite some time. Desktop PCs really started about 2014 or so. Depends on models and manufacturers, that type of thing. Next up, how do I tell if my computer can run Windows 11? Well, so you can go to Microsoft.com en-us/Windows/Windows-11-specifications, which these will be in the show notes if you're on the replay. So you don't even there'll be a link you can click on and it'll take you right there, and you can go look at it. But let's break it down. So there's an app you can download from Microsoft that you know what? Let me show you the website. That would be better, wouldn't it? Show me a website. Show me a website. So right here is this Microsoft website right here. And again, you do a little housekeeping here. I move the other way. There we go. And it's kind of fun playing, follow the bouncing ball. So here we go. This talks about the Windows specifications. If you scroll through here, it will tell you the same thing that I just talked about. 1 gigahertz processor with 2 or more cores, 4 gigabytes RAM. I left that out. You need to have at least 4 gigabytes RAM. I actually recommend 8 at a minimum. If you can afford more, your computer will never fuss about having too much memory, but it could fuss about not having enough. At least 64 gig or larger storage device. So, yep. Uefi, Secure Boot compatible. We just talked about that. Trusted Platform module. We just talked about that. Compatible with DirectX 12. And then high definition 720p or higher display. Like your big TV set on the wall is like 1080p or 4K, or maybe have one of the smaller ones that really is 720p. Yeah, it'll probably be fine. Anyway, the point being is that you go here, and then on this website, it will have a link that takes you to run this utility right here, which you can download here. Oh, well, we'll come back to that. So anyway, on this site, you can go and it will give you an option right here to download the PC HealthCheck app. This app, download it and then run it. And going back to my presentation, ta-da, there we go. All right, so now it's demo time. I'm going to show you what that app looks like. Ta-da, let's see if I get it right this time. It could happen, right? Okay, so here we go. All right, so when you run the app, you click on the Check Now button, and it's going to do a checkup, and the results come back pretty quick. And it will tell you, in this case, this particular computer that was ran on did not have the TPM chip enabled. So it's like, you don't have TPM chip, so you can't run it. This is my son's computer, and actually if he goes into the BIOS, he can enable the TPM chip. There never was a reason to enable it, so therefore he didn't. But if he enables it and updates his firmware to the latest, more than likely his computer will be more than happy running Windows 11. So those are features that you see. Okay. So now going back to my picture here. All right. So next up, what's new in Windows 11? So Windows 11 has, well, first of all, the interface is a little ramped up a little bit. It's a nicer interface. Windows 11 is free to upgrade to if you are already licensed for Windows 10. So you don't have to do anything. If you're running Windows 10, you don't have to go buy anything. You can run Windows 11 if your computer is capable. There are dramatic changes to the user interface. The start menu is in the middle instead of the right side of the screen. Oh, we actually showed you a demo of this. I actually didn't, did I? That was in a video I had where I talked about how to install Windows 11 on a Mac. That's a different story altogether. And I'll put a link to that video if you're curious about that. Direct storage, which is a feature that speeds up your storage on your computer, if you run an M2 or SSD, solid state drives, flash drives, they borrowed this feature from Xbox. They developed it for Xbox, and there it is. And then there's a revamped Microsoft store. Woo, how exciting! Everybody needs that, right? Yay! Revamped Microsoft store! I can go download apps there. Anyway, alright, so maybe. And Auto HDR, which is high definition, and it will do smoothing of graphics in games, and some applications that have been programmed to actually use that feature. Here's some more stuff that's in Windows 11. Windows 11 has desktop switching, so actually Windows 10 has desktop switching, but it never was a slick, cool, easy to use feature. But Windows 11 makes it super easy. You can make you basically a desktop where your apps are running for work, and then you could have another desktop screen running where it's all your apps, all your games, and you can just click the button and it swaps back and forth. Hopefully there's a way to do a hotkey so you can do, swap it out when your boss comes by. So, oh look, I'm working on this wonderful Excel spreadsheet that my boss wants me to work on. Oh, now I'm gonna go play Diablo 2. Yeah, there you go. Switch back and forth between desktops, super easy. And widgets are back. So you may remember in the Windows 7 days, that was that crazy thing down the right side of the screen where you could do the sticky notes and other things like that, which by the way, that was hacked and they told you not to run it. Well, it's back and hopefully not hackable. But anyway, so it's back and you'll have like, weather and stuff like that. And it's kind of like that cheesy little thing when you clicked on Windows 8 and it popped up and showed you news and everything else that you didn't want. So you may not like this, but the bright side is you can turn it off and on as you want. And maybe you see something you actually want to run as widgets. Okay, and missing features. So here's a weird thing. Windows 11 is missing some features. They're coming soon, and there's lots of promised features, but they're going to release them as part of the updates that are coming. And the biggest feature, the one I'm actually excited about, is Windows 11 will be able to run Android apps. So if you have an Android phone, well, and here's the catch. You'll have to use Amazon's Marketplace on your Windows 11 PC in order to download Android apps, and then you'll be able to run those on your Windows machine. So if you have some cool games that you run on your Android phone, if they're available from the Amazon Marketplace, you can download and run Android apps right there on your Windows 11 machine. Now that on Mac OS you can run iOS apps from the App Store, well, now Windows 11 says, well, we're going to make it where you can run Android apps. Now, there's been some features like this before where you had a Samsung phone and you could run some things, and there's always been emulators, but they weren't great. Now you'll actually be able to run Android apps right there in Windows 11. I think that's a great feature. Not coming out today. Not available day one. It's coming out later. So hopefully later's not too far away, because I think that's an exciting feature. And now, if your computer shipped in 2017 or newer, more recently I should say, you may be okay. Your computer may run Windows 11. If you built your computer with AMD chips, for example, you may need to turn on the TPM feature. That may not have been turned on by default. Secure boot and TPM may slow your computer down some. It will be negligible, but it is a hair slower than it is with those things off. So if you're a gamer, you may notice it at first. I think it'll level out. I think it'll be okay, but it's a compromise. You just got to think about that. Now, what if my computer is older, or it won't run Windows 11 when I run that utility? It says, oh, your PC is not going to run Windows 11. Well, you're okay. Windows 10 will be supported until 2025. So you've got 4 more years before you have to worry about it. There'll be a new presidential election before it's a problem for you, whether you have to upgrade to Windows 11 or not. And maybe in the next 4 years, you'll buy a new computer, and it will come with Windows 11 pre-installed. So yeah, there you go. So you can just kind of figure out what you want to do there. Of course, move me out of the way there a little bit. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, you got 4 years to think about that. Now, my computer won't run Windows 11, but I really want to run it anyway. Well, Microsoft will let you download it, and they will let you install it anyway, but it will give you a dire warning. It will say they will not support you, and this is bad. This means potentially they will release security updates and you will not be allowed to download those because you're running Windows 11 on an unsupported machine. This is not smart on Microsoft's part, if you ask me. I don't think Microsoft should allow you to do this. Now, I never liked Microsoft treating you this way, but yeah, that's unfortunately Microsoft. They're saying, yeah, usually I get upset when a software company restricts you, but in this case, I worry about the harm of being able to run Windows 11 on a machine that's not officially supported, and then being locked out of being able to download security updates, putting you at risk, your data at risk. It's a bad thing. So we'll wait and see. The jury's still out on this. There may be a change in Microsoft's stance on this, but they seem so fixated on Secure Boot and TPM. I'm hoping they'll back down. They'll say, okay, great. You got the other specs, go for it. We'll see what happens. Now, that was weird, wasn't it? It was. Now, my computer says it'll run Windows 11. Yay! I'm so excited. Woohoo! 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 Well, great. So run Windows Update and see if Microsoft's ready to let you upgrade it. Windows Update is how they're going to push it out to most people. Now wait, it didn't show it to me as an option to download it. Well, that's because Microsoft is going to roll out Windows 11 to everybody between now and the middle of next year, in the middle of 2022. So it could pop up anytime between now and 2022 if you use Windows Update to do it. But I want it now. Well, here you go, and I'll put this in the show notes as well. You can go to Microsoft.com/en-us/software-download/Windows 11, and you can download the ISO file, basically a DVD image of Windows 11. But then you have to create a bootable USB drive and boot from it to install it. You could conceivably do inside Windows 10. There's a feature to mount it. I have not tried this yet, so I cannot advise it yet, but the internet so far is saying take a USB drive. The USB drive needs to have at least 8 gig of space on it. And so you're probably better off with 16 to be on the safe side. Actually, I think 8's a little tight. 16 gig USB thumb drive. This blank, and you can use the Create Windows 11 Media, and it will make a bootable USB drive. And then you plug that USB drive into your computer and then boot from it. And then it will give you an upgrade option. It'll say, do you want to keep your data? Yeah, I do. Please let me keep my data. Of course, you should always back up before going forward. However you back up, whether you upload all your stuff to a cloud drive or whether you back it up to an external drive, you should back up your computer before you upgrade, just in case things go bad. Now, Microsoft is saying the benefits of Windows 11 is that if your computer is compatible, they're saying that Windows 11 is their most stable operating system. So, yeah. Now, should you go and upgrade to Windows 11? I think you should wait. Why? It just came out, and now that it's wide release, people will find problems that Microsoft did not find in initial testing, because the initial testing was by beta users who were brave enough to download Windows. It was by developers who needed to be able to make sure their software was going to work on Windows 11. I would actually recommend, even if that tool says your computer is ready for Windows 11 now, that it does not offer enough benefits to justify even bothering to run it now. You should wait. Wait. Don't be in a hurry. It's okay. It's going to be out there. Wait and see what everybody else's reactions are. Let your friends who are more bleeding edge, who like to run the latest and greatest, I've got to have the latest and greatest. Let them go first and let them find out what happens and what problems they have. That's it. Now, let's go say hi to my friends that have come by to see me tonight. And ta-da! Hey, Big Red, what's up, man? Hey, thanks so much for coming by. Yes, Big Red was right. It's a Blue's Clues via Snoopy on my shirt. I was a Blue's Clues fan, and I'm also a big Snoopy and Peanuts fan. Charlie Brown Christmas, man. I know it's not Christmas yet, course, got to do the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. This is Halloween month. If you celebrate that, and even so, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, we got to go watch that. So it's important. It's a tradition. Mommy Guide. Hey, Mommy Guide. Thanks so much for coming by. Let's see. What is my favorite thing or feature on Windows 11? My favorite feature on Windows 11 is going to be the Android functionality. Once they finally release that, to be able to run Android apps on Windows 11, I think is very cool. I know I'm enjoying running iOS apps on Mac OS. That's been very cool since the M1 chip came out. And so that's, yep. And I just talked about this. Yep. I think you should wait. I don't think, wait. Don't go and upgrade to Windows 11 yet, unless you're just that bleeding edge kind of person, and you got to do it now. Yeah. Yes. Thanks. I'll wait. Yes, I definitely agree. You should wait. Let's see what happens here. Is bring up my Windows, and I'll show you what Windows 11 looks like in case I haven't shown you this already. Let's go. Picture in picture. All right. So this is what Windows 11 looks like. And you'll notice right here, the start button has been moved to here. Now, I really actually like this interface. It feels very much like they borrowed some things from Mac OS. I kind of like the little dock and the way it's set up. I mean, it's very slick. I do like it. I've already been playing around with it. I actually have this loaded on my M1 Mac running Parallels because I wanted to be able to run it. And I've been playing right here. So right here is the widgets. And so you can go here and customize this, and it shows the weather or news stories. But you can customize the heck out of this and add stuff that you care about it to it. There's a lot of news, it depends on what your news sources are. You got to go pick those. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a cool interface. I'll give you that. And then right here is desktop. I like this functionality because, hey, I can do a desktop for my games. And I can go up here and name it gaming. Oops, hang on. Right to desktop and work and hang on. Hang with me here, personal. Okay, and then you can swap back and forth between different apps. So here I can have Edge open in this desktop. And then I can go to desktop and then go to my work one where I've got, Firefox open. And I can just go back and forth and pick games. And I don't have any games open. Here's the search bar, by the way. So make sure Solitaire's still there. I would have been upset if Windows 11 did not have Solitaire. I mean, it just would have been bad. It would have been bad. Solitaire has to be there. So then I can click right here and pick which desktop I want to run. And like I said, you can probably do a hotkey and swap back and forth at work to make your boss think you're actually working. This is a cool feature. Mac OS has had this for quite some time. I never used it a lot. Linux had this way before everybody else did. So that was really cool. But yeah, here you go. This is what Windows 11 looks like. I do like File Explorer. It's right now, of course, it's this machine's got a little schizophrenia because it's on a Mac and everything. But I like the fact you can right click and so many of the right menu options are right here now, as opposed to, you go to Documents, and so I can right click, and there's so many right click items right here as well, like cut and copy and rename and delete right there. I like that menu interface. I like the interface that way. I also like the fact that, it just looks, it's got a slick look to it, so the interface is kind of cool. So these are all great things, but they're not those things that you gotta go get now. No, there's no rush. You don't need to run down to your Windows update and get Windows 11 yet. You've got plenty of time. Wait for it. Let everybody else break it. Let Microsoft do some fixes that make it a better operating system for everybody. And again, my favorite feature is going to be being able to run Android apps inside Windows 11. If you like Android apps, I think you'll find that's cool. Wait and see what happens. So, yeah. Big Red says, has Windows 11 been through beta testing yet to get some of the bugs as every program in nevertheless? It has. Windows 11 has actually been out for quite some time in beta, and the release date for October, today's October 5th, was the release date. It was coming out today, was the plan. It's been ran by a lot of people. It's been reviewed by a lot of people. I've been playing around with a beta of it, and it's very solid. It works. It does everything I've thrown at it so far. Again, it's more a pretty interface with some neat interface features right now. It's not a drop everything. You're not going to see even a big improvement in your gaming right off. It's just not going to be a big improvement if you're a gamer. So you can afford to wait. There's no reason to rush. It's there, and when you get ready, yeah, go. Also today, Microsoft released Office 2021, or if you are an Office 365 subscriber, then you will eventually get that update anyway. It's a slicker. It's kind of like Windows 11. It's a little bit slicker interface. There's some minor cosmetic changes. It's not a huge leap, but it is a leap. There is change, and if you like change, well, you're in luck. Microsoft's provided change. Here's some change for you. Anyway, and it's available for Mac OS and Windows. And so, or if you do like I do, I run a lot of Microsoft Office 365 in a web browser. It does a pretty decent job. And so, you don't necessarily have to download it local. There are some features that are not there. But if you're an advanced user, you're going to want to download it and run it local anyway. That's it. That is our show. Unless you guys have some questions and want to say hi, shout outs, everything, I do want to tell everybody thank you so much for watching. Be sure if you're watching the replay, well, let's see, I'm supposed to hit some buttons here. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to know when my next video is coming out. This is the kind of stuff I do every episode on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I talk about big topics in the news, and I try to explain how they benefit you or how they might hurt you. And in this case, I have my advice for you today. Don't update to Windows 11 yet. Wait. It just came out today. Yes, it's been very beta tested, but you know, yeah. Where'd you get that shirt? I looked up and found this on Woot, and it appears to be sold out. It is very sold out right now. I'll put a link in the description. I don't get any. It's not an affiliate for Woot or anything. I'll put a link in the description to the shirt in my show notes, and you're welcome to go there and yeah, go get a shirt. Thanks, my guide. That's weird. Why did I post that one? Yep. Thanks for Concise Unpacking Windows 11. Yep. Windows 11. Wait if you can wait. Thank you so much to everybody that watched. That's our show tonight. Thank you so much for coming by. You guys are so awesome. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. Be sure to tell your friends about my show. I'm, trying my best here to branch out and be amazing for you guys as much as I can. Hopefully, I'm accomplish that. Like I said, I'm going for 1% improvement every episode. So, hopefully, you got at least 0.5% improvement. I was working on it. So, anyway, thanks so much. Good night. Goodbye.
This is the World of Technology Podcast with your host, Roy Richardson. Each week we cover topics in the news and how they affect you. Sit back, relax, and open your mind.
Thanks, Big Red. Yep. Thank you so much for saying that. Everybody have a good night. Bye.